Hi, Dr. Cloud. Thanks for taking my call.
You're very welcome. How can I help you?
So, I have a question. How can I get out of my past loops and also the guy I'm dating, him getting out of his past loops and get more present with the current relationship? We both have a past of like failed relationships,
Now, wait a minute. What did you call it? I can get your past what?
past relationships.
Oh, I thought you said past loop or something. I didn't understand. Is that what you said?
Yeah, well, we get in these loops of like, it's almost like the insecurities from past relationships are showing up in our relationship.
Wow. We're watching reruns on movie night.
And it's not fun reruns either.
No.
Dang
That's
it.
not fun. All right. Well, give me here. I'm gonna sit down with my popcorn. I want you to play this movie for me. Give me an example. What happens? And how long have y'all
Um,
been together?
just about 6 months. So not that long.
Okay. All right. So what does it look like? What happens?
They'll be talking, and then something may set one of us off, like where we kind of write this story about, how our past has been with the different relationships. So, for example, an insecurity will come up, and it was with his past girlfriend or wife, and
No,
it's
no,
not
but
me,
what's an
but it's
example? What's an example? Instead of calling it an
uh,
insecurity, like what's a specific? And
okay.
then
Well,
what
let's talk about
happens?
mine this week. So, me and finances specifically,
Okay.
getting serious. And I had brought up, I'm like, well, because I don't know exactly where I stand with regards to a prenup. And so I brought that up, and he was like, yeah, we shouldn't be talking that's what you think, because if you want a prenup, we're not even at the point of marriage or anything, but he's like, if you want a prenup, that's one of my no goes. And so we just probably
Oh,
need to cut this relationship.
you would want him to sign a prenup.
Not necessarily, but I wanted to talk to him about it. I don't know exactly how I would feel.
No, but
I'm not sure.
if one if uh, sometimes in some relationships one person has more of the need, they feel like, to have a prenup than somebody else does. Okay, sometimes
Mhm.
they might both feel the need for it. um so I guess what I'm saying is, why did you bring it up? Like why did it come up?
Because we're pretty serious and we have talked about long term. And I just don't know
Okay.
exactly how I feel. With him, I'm not worried about that. But my past relationships, and I have been married twice, a divorce and then an
uh,
annulment. And, and, and it was not good. And I came out of it complete financial disaster both
okay.
times. And so it's my insecurity in this instance that's coming forward, obviously. And, technically he has more assets than me. And so I don't even know if I would want a prenup anyways, because this is something that, for 5 or 6 years I thought about. I had an attorney do my will 3 years ago. And he's like, you probably need to do a prenup if you decide to get married again. He was doing a will and revising things because I had just adopted a little boy. And so anyways, that's an example. So really, it's not him, it's my past relationship. And I haven't made a definitive answer, but the loop was him saying, yeah, we just need to cut this off now because, yeah, if someone's wanting to even discuss a prenup, that means you're already going in thinking that the relationship is going to fail. And I completely understand that point of view.
Yeah. I think my chief concern would be, um, for you to bring it up with him about, okay, so this could have been a conversation about a prenup. It could be a conversation about kids. It could be a conversation about how we do live financially, with each other, the way we spend our money. It could be
Mm-hmm.
a conversation about faith. It could be a conversation about a bunch of other stuff. Okay. Here's what I want to talk about. How can we have a conversation about things that, when we have feelings about them that are strong? Let's talk about how we have difficult conversations.
Okay.
Okay. So I would just sort of like, it's sort of like you want to teach kids character, right? So you get them involved in sports. Who cares what sport they're playing that day? What matters is that they're learning to play fair. So topics, right? If you go to a
Mhm.
psychologist, they really don't care what topic you're talking about. They care about how you're talking about the topic. You follow me? For
Mhm.
example,
Yeah.
you read John Gottman's research, the marriage researcher who's done more research in watching couples than anybody on the planet. And they'll put couples in a room and give them a topic, to talk about for 15 minutes, whether it's finances or kids or whatever it is. They don't care what it is. They watch how they talk, and they can, after 15 minutes, they can predict whether or not that couple's going to be divorced in 7 years to a 91 or 93% accuracy. So it's never about the
Whoa.
topic, it's about how we behave with each other.
Mhm.
So, how about that? So, it doesn't matter what it is. So, I would want to talk to him about, forget the prenup thing. It could be prenups, it could be kids, it could be what. Let's you and I talk about what do we do? What do we do what are the ground rules of how we are going to talk to each other when we have a difficult conversation? Okay, now let me give you one of the definitions. This is what the Harvard group, how they describe difficult conversations, where three things are present. Number one, that it's something that really matters. Okay, the stakes are high. So if you're talking about
Okay.
somebody's financial well-being or you're talking about breaking up a relationship, those are high stakes, right? Number
Mhm.
two, number two, where somebody has strong feelings about the topic. So it's a high stakes topic. There's strong feelings. And number three, we have different opinions. That's the definition, or one definition, of what makes for a difficult conversation. So that if I'm looking at getting serious, y'all could resolve the prenup thing by somebody caving in or whatever and move past it. But if you haven't resolved how we have difficult conversations, then that's where the danger of even needing a prenup or not one day is going to come up. That's what I would want to talk about.
Okay. Really matters, strong feelings, and different opinions. That's 3 out of your. Did you say there were 7? Did I miss some of them?
No, there's three.
Okay.
In other words, what defines a difficult conversation? Okay, it's number one, the stakes are high. It matters. It's something of consequence, right?
Mhm.
Number two, it's not whether or not you want chocolate or vanilla for dessert, but the topic matters. There's stakes are high. Number two, each party has strong feelings, strong emotions about it. It's not a neutral topic. And number three, we have different opinions. So
Okay.
when you have all three of
I got
those, you got, and so every relationship's going to have those.
it.
So
Mhm.
what are you gonna do? And basically, you know, the big formula here is that you're sitting there and he's sitting here, and there's got to be this neutral space where both of you can put your real feelings and opinions out into this neutral space where they're not going to be attacked, they're not going to be criticized, they're not going to be judged. They are going to be embraced with curiosity, okay?
Mm.
Where he's
Mhm.
listening to you. How can you have that opinion? Instead of, how can you have that opinion? It's, I want to know I want to know why that's important to you. Help me understand why you would feel the need for this. And he's curious, he's not judging it. And you can have you can say to him, you know, gosh, you got some strong feelings about, even if anybody would consider that. Tell me about that. And so there's this space where you get what's called your shared meanings into a place where you guys can really begin to listen and care about the other one's perspective. And then many times what happens in there is you find the real issue. and then you become partners in solving the real issue. But that's what I would want to address. And in terms of your
Okay.
original question, the triggers say once you do
Mm.
that, how we're going to talk about this stuff. Then when a trigger happens, you can go, you know what? I think this is one of those triggers. Let's practice what we said. And then you can do that.
Okay. Okay. That sounds good. I wrote it
You know
all
what?
down too.
Well, you know what? If
Thank
you
you.
go to boundaries.me, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and sign up for a free trial. It won't even cost you anything to sign up for a free trial. Go on there, sign up, and look at the course on difficult conversations or whatever we called it. I can't remember exactly what we called it, but there's 3 or 4 of them on there. And just watch that. You guys might want to watch that together.
Okay. Thank you,
All right.
Dr. Cloud. Have a
Okay.
very nice day.
You're very, very welcome. Okay.